Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul takes you on a home visit in St. Louis as Vincentians provide person-to-person service to a family in need. And we go to Los Angeles to show you how the Society provides compassion to the homeless. Plus, we're in Florida to spotlight St. Vincent de Paul Orlando's work, helping returning citizens get back on their feet after time spent behind bars. These stories are just some examples of the good works of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul across the United States.
Our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul.
The world-famous Gateway Arch in St. Louis, Missouri, is the birthplace of the Catholic-based Society of St. Vincent de Paul in the United States in 1845. It's also home to the Society's national headquarters. Welcome to our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul. I'm Lisa Holbrook. We'll be taking a look at this unique organization that helps people grow spiritually through service to people in need. Today's society is about so much more than the thrift stores and food pantries it's so well known for. The Society of St. Vincent de Paul helps our brothers and sisters struggling in poverty by keeping the lights on and by preventing evictions. Members, known as Vincentians, are serving as a voice for the poor through advocacy and systemic change. Here at the Old Cathedral Museum, the minutes from the first meeting of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul in St. Louis are on display. In contrast to a typical social services organization, Vincentians regularly go in pairs to visit people in their homes. The home visit is the very essence of the Society's work. With the permission of the family you're about to meet, we're going on a home visit right here in St. Louis.
We're grateful to be able to serve families who are deeply in need. Sometimes they're troubled with different situations that they have no control of, but we pray that we can lend some light into their lives with food, gifts from God, and blessings from our church. And we ask all these prayers in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Vincentians Tim Massey and Shirley Robinson of the conference at St. Francis de Sales Oratory in St. Louis pray before putting together bags of food they'll bring on their next home visit.
They really need someone to talk to, and that's a big part of the home visit. More than talking, there's a lot of listening, just being there.
And anything that we can do as Vincentians to help a family in need, and we do it without hesitation.
Father Jim Cormack, spiritual advisor for the St. Louis Council of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, himself a longtime Vincentian, says the home visit separates the Society from other more traditional social service organizations.
We will come to you. We will come to you where you live. We will try to understand who you are and what challenges you face. And we'll try to do it as comfortable fashion as possible, right in your own home.
Shirley and Tim. Hi, how are you?
Denise Adams graciously welcomes Tim and Shirley into her home, and before long, the Vincentians and the family come together in prayer.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
The home visit becomes a conversation among friends.
Bills was outrageous. They was $400, $300. Each bill was just out, just out there.
One of the things I'm constantly amazed when I go on a home visit, I keep thinking to myself, the people I'm visiting are just like me. They have the same problems, they have the same needs, they have the same emotions. Every neighborhood I go into, people are so much the same, and there's such a goodness in it.
Shirley vividly remembers her first home visit experience, her most recent, and everyone in between.
And it must be embarrassing to a degree, because they often hold their heads down and we rarely make eye contact, but I let them know everything is going to be all right. What can we do for you? Do you need more? Let us know. And we go the extra mile. We must.
Denise says she's felt judged when dealing with other agencies. That's not been the case when St. Vincent de Paul helped her family when they struggled to make ends meet.
It felt really good. It felt like it was somebody out there that cares. You know, they come to the house, they bring you food, you don't have to go to the place to wait in line, you know, to get service. And we felt really good about that when they, you know, come to the house to bring you food, and I thought that was a good thing. So I appreciate what they do for people. I really appreciate what they've done for me and my family as well. They've done a lot for us.
Has there been a time where somebody's been short of a job or?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying about the blessing about the job.
Father Cormack believes Vincentians grow spiritually from their experiences during a home visit.
The spirituality that undergirds what we do has to come forward and say, I'm not doing this for any other reason than this is a way for me to recognize the presence of Christ in another, and in seeing that, to respond with compassion. This person asked for help. I'll try to give it as I'm able.
When I tell you they bless me and my family, they bless us. By the grace of God, He's putting us on the right track. So everything good, and I thank God for that.
Tim and Shirley say being part of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul is their calling to serve people in need.
I can't imagine what course my life would have taken if I hadn't taken this course. You know, I find so much, it sustains me. You know, regardless of what other troubles are going around or the complications in my own life or with my own family, I feel the strength of the other Vincentians behind me. And I've built a lot of that relationship, a lot of that strength going on home visits with other Vincentians.
God has really been a blessing to this family. I'm telling you, He has. This year has been an awesome year, and I'm glad.
God's grace, His mercy, and His love for us, it keeps me refreshed. It keeps me going. I don't know what I'd do if I wasn't doing this.
Thanks again for coming back.
You're quite welcome. It is truly a privilege to be serving the Lord this way.
Yes, it is. It is. And I thank y'all so much.
You're such a gracious, gracious.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you again. God bless you all.
Bless you too. Have a good day.
And you as well. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Across America, our nation's homeless can be found in small towns and large cities. Out west, one city leads all the rest in the number of people sleeping on the streets. In Los Angeles, the Society offers a refuge for the forgotten. That's next on Our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul.
Every year, timed to the feast day of St. Vincent de Paul, tens of thousands of Vincentians and their friends and neighbors walk for the poor. The Society of St. Vincent de Paul holds its Friends of the Poor Walk to raise awareness and funds for those living in poverty. All proceeds from the event stay in the communities where they are raised, so Vincentians can directly help people in poverty. You can make a difference. To find a walk near you, visit www.fopwalk.org.
This plaque marks the spot of the Society's first United States-based Conference of Vincentians, here at the old cathedral in the shadow of St. Louis's Gateway Arch. Across the country, the Society of St. Vincent de Paul offers comfort and hope to the homeless. In Los Angeles County, California, on any given night, more than 44,000 people can be found sleeping on the streets. As Paul Boron shows us, the Society's Cardinal Manning Center in downtown Los Angeles' Skid Row area provides a safe shelter and hope for the homeless.
It all started 30 years ago out here on this sidewalk right here. That's where I lived and I slept for many days before I was invited into the building.
Tyrone Taylor vividly remembers more than 2 decades wandering the streets in the Skid Row area of Los Angeles.
I made my own bed by making my own decisions, and I found myself drinking and using.
A series of bad choices, including drug and alcohol abuse, turned Skid Row into Tyrone's very own Boulevard of Broken Dreams. More than 20 years of stops and starts would lead to a fateful encounter with a daughter he hadn't seen since she was a little girl.
She called my name, and I didn't know who she was, and she embraced me and said, I'm your daughter, Dad. And those words perished my spirit. I actually seen for a moment her going to high school, never wasn't there. Going through the prom, I wasn't there. She getting married, I wasn't there. She having kids, I wasn't there. And I felt so ashamed of what I had became. And from the deepest of my spirit, I cried out for help.
That help came at the same Cardinal Manning Center Tyrone had once slept outside of, a homeless shelter run by the Los Angeles Council of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul.
If you want to get recovery here, if you want to be fixed on Skid Row, it can happen, but you have to want to do it. And we have a process with those that want to change their lives. We have a process that works.
Vincentian David Fields, the Society's executive director in Los Angeles, says the Cardinal Manning Center provides emergency and transitional housing programs. Programs with proven success in transitioning homeless men off the streets and into housing.
I find out how impactful we are on their lives, and what we get is that whole Vincentian element of treating people with dignity and respect. And they don't always maybe get that everywhere else that they've had encounters. So when they come here, they get this sense of love and compassion.
Social Services Operations Manager Sylvia Huerta, a longtime Vincentian, says the Society's approach stands out in a crowded social services arena.
They're able to talk to people here. People will listen. People will understand, will help. Some of these guys, all they want is for someone to just sit and listen. And they just talk what they feel. Other places, they don't have the time for that. It's more like a number and what the needs are, and out you go.
The Cardinal Manning Center is a fabric of Los Angeles Skid Row community, home to a large transient and homeless population. Many community groups give of their time and talent here, including Vincentians, who regularly serve meals. Every Saturday at the Cardinal Manning Center, members of the St. Vincent de Paul Conference at St. Basil Catholic Church in the Koreatown section of Los Angeles, which includes many young Vincentians, serve a healthy homemade breakfast for those most in need.
Always we must be happy with them, and first job is eye contact with homeless people.
Vincentian Joseph Ahn believes he gets so much out of his experience at the Cardinal Manning Center that he receives more spiritually than those individuals in need that he helps serve.
This is not help others. I think eventually it is help ourselves, I think.
It's giving of himself in service to others that Joseph hopes stays with him the rest of his life.
I like it and I love it, and so if possible, I want to do this mission until die, if possible.
This love of the mission of person-to-person service to those who are in need and suffering is echoed by David Fields and Sylvia Huerta.
I'm blessed. I feel like the Holy Spirit guides me to do what I need to do to make a difference in as many people's lives as we can.
They give you a smile. They cry in front of you because either they're hurting, they make you cry, they make you laugh. They do all kinds of things, and it makes you grow as a person, as a human being, and how much I think you tend to start caring for these people. I think that's why I'm still here. It calls me. It just feels good.
You just got to keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, because one person going to appreciate it is worth it. Right. It's worth it, you know. So I'm one of the ones.
Tyrone took advantage of the Manning Center programs to rebuild his life and get a roof over his head. And now he finds daily redemption by giving back to the society and the people it serves.
I feel free on the inside. And I help people wherever I go, and it's helping me. You don't know, helping them helps me. And I call it the gift from God. And that gift is from God gives me this gift that I embrace, I take this gift and I incorporate it in my life. And at some point in that my journey, I take that same gift that's incorporated in my life and I rewrap it up and I pass it on to another suffering alcoholic addict.
I'm impressed with his life and how much he has changed. He was out on the streets for quite some time eventually until he came to this place and he was looking for help. He was helped because he asked for help. He actually walked in here asking for help. Eventually put himself together.
Tyrone has remained sober and drug-free, and he's reunited with his family he once left behind. He knows he couldn't have done all of this without the kind hearts of caring members of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul.
But it's a process, and it's sometimes hard because I'm just now starting to live a life that I should have been living a long time ago. People, St. Vincent, they were there through all that. Man, I'm so grateful for these people here, you know. So whenever they ask me to come out and share or come out and talk about my experience, it starts right here. Now, if they can do that for a guy like me, they can do it for anybody.
The Society offered Tyrone a compassionate helping hand, and it does so for countless others every day. For Our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul, I'm Paul Boron.
Giving hope to the hopeless and second chances to those behind bars. Just ahead, we'll take you inside Stay Out of Jail Night to hear the stories of redemption of returning citizens being given a helping hand through jail and prison ministry.
On Easter Sunday, Mother Mary Angelica returned to the arms of the Lord she spent her life serving. Now, the religious orders and the Catholic media network she founded celebrate her life the way she lived hers, through prayer and service. EWTN Home Video invites you to join the Franciscan Friars of the Eternal Word and the Poor Clares of Perpetual Adoration for Mother Mary Angelica's Rite of Reception and Divine Mercy Chaplet, Solemn Vespers in Memoriam, Vigil and Rosary for the Deceased, Rosary in Memoriam, and of course the Mass of Christian Burial with Archbishop Chaput. To get your copy of In Memoriam, Mother Mary Angelica, PCPA, log on to our web store, EWTNRC.com, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and type in item number HDIMMA or call 1-800-854-6316.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Statue of St. Vincent de Paul, the patron saint of the poor in the Catholic Church, sits inside the old cathedral. A reminder, St. Louis is home to the Society's first conference of Vincentians. From the Bible, a familiar excerpt from Matthew 25:36 reads, in part, I was in prison and you visited me. Across the United States, members of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul are visiting people behind bars. In Central Florida, one Vincentian conference has made re-entry and revitalization the focus of its work. St. Vincent de Paul Orlando Executive Director Trace Trilco shows us how a multifaceted approach is succeeding in helping people become and remain productive members of society.
Carry and go. You can get all your furniture half price.
Milton Plaza's larger-than-life personality is always on display at the St. Vincent de Paul Orlando thrift store's Apopka, Florida location. Positive and upbeat now, Milton's life was nearly derailed after spending more than a decade of his life behind bars for drug-related crimes.
People gave me chances. They trusted in me. They seen something in me that other people didn't see, and especially the St. Vincent de Paul Society.
Through the outreach of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul's Jail and Prison Ministry Conference of St. Peter Claver, Milton and others are earning a second chance. The ministry relies upon a network of trained volunteer mentors to provide much-needed support.
It made me feel loved. because my father didn't show me that growing up. I had to learn that the hard way. You know, I thought that love was the men in the street selling drugs and this and that. So my father wasn't there. So, you know, when these guys came in, they showed us unconditional love, and that really that hit, you know, home.
Substance abuse led Jennifer Keene, a young mother of 2, to commit crimes to pay for her habit, and this almost ruined her life.
That plunged me into the depths of addiction. Pretty much, it was gradual, but it escalated and escalated to the point that I was using my prescription medication as a legal drug addict.
Jennifer's relationship with Catholic volunteers and Vincentian members of the society like Barb Bowden and Pat Baird provided an important lifeline.
That's really our mission, is to bring them, you know, Jesus' word of hope and love and forgiveness. So they feel that. And it's very touching, you know, very, you know, it's a very humbling experience, because I think they're so appreciative, and yet we're the ones that definitely see, you know, we see Jesus in them.
They're there because they want to be there. They're there because they want to hear the word. They want to talk about the word. They want to get feedback. They want to express their feelings. They're many times looking for how they could get forgiveness.
He's going to keep on doing what he's got to do until that right spot comes along in his life.
You just got to do the legwork. You just got to put in 100%, and you'll get where you need to go.
Everything's going good so far. I'm trying to stay on the right track, avoid any negativity at all costs.
Program participants and mentors come together for regular stay-out-of-jail nights to share their stories and find support from a caring community. It's moments like these that inspire conference president Bruce Stumbris.
Visiting these men in prison is where I see the face of Christ more than anywhere else in the world.
One of the keys to success for the St. Peter Claver Prison Ministry happens here at Father Ennis Village. What may look like a simple trailer park for these returning citizens is a new lease on life.
I didn't have nowhere to go. I mean, as soon as I was getting released from prison, I had nothing, no money, no job, no house, no nothing.
Supportive housing was a key to John Frames rebuilding his life. With a roof over his head, Frames landed a full-time job. He says he couldn't have done it without the helping hand provided by compassionate Vincentian volunteers.
Oh, I'm very grateful. This is my family. I mean, this is my family. You know, St. Vincent de Paul was my beginning.
Dozens of program enrollees have rebuilt their self-esteem and made important connections to jobs.
We have a number of guys that started here and now are managing organizations that are, have $18, $20 jobs.
Volunteers like Ruben A. Sanabria feel a calling to help people who have served their time and who want to make a difference in their lives.
The problem they're having is once they get out of prison, society shuts the doors on them, and we're the only ones that have been opening these doors for them so that can come back and they'll be useful in society.
Ben Gross also plays an important role in this ministry, making sure men like him who are released from prison have a backpack built with love.
I come down here every Monday and I fill out bags and I give them extra clothes. I give them a couple pairs of pants, a pair of shorts if we have them, a couple pairs of socks, 2 pairs of boxers, toiletries, a pair of shoes and jackets if it's winter weather. And that way these guys have the things that they need, because it's already hard enough for guys getting out of prison to find a job, find a place to live, than if he's wearing the same pair of clothes for 2 or 3 days.
Every year, the St. Peter Claver Prison Ministry provides hundreds of re-entry kits to several incarceration facilities in Central Florida. Volunteers often hear from grateful recipients. Ben says this simple token provides dignity and respect.
When I first got out of prison, I lived under, it was a bad situation. And when I got a nice pair of shoes and I got a nice suit, and a nice, I had a tie, it's such a good feeling, to have those things. To know that you're not just an inmate where you think people are looking at you. Now it's like, look at me, I'm dressed nicely, I'm going to church, I'm showing that I have nice clothes. It gives you a feeling of, I'm I'm really a member of society.
Inspired by gospel values, Vincentian volunteers are growing in their spirituality through this person-to-person service.
This is priceless. The satisfaction that I get is that when I'm with them and I help them, I've confirmed what the Lord told me to do. This is your mission. You need to help these people get out of prison and be in society and be better persons in society.
I feel the Holy Spirit in the room with us. It's really, it's very infectious. I always leave there after my few hours of being there feeling like I've gotten way much more from my time than I've given.
Make no mistake, the people being served are grateful.
There is a tomorrow, there is a future, there is a hope. And these trials and tribulations can become your testimony for a life full of expectations and enormous opportunities if you are determined enough.
Like Jennifer, Milton Plaza is determined to make the most of his second chance.
It's been beautiful. I've been here 4 years, and St. Vincent de Paul gave me opportunity in life, and now I'm taking the advantage of it to the fullest. You know, I met this great woman in my life, and I'm getting married in September, you know, and it's a beautiful thing, because, you know, I thought that somebody like me can ever do that, make that transition, that jump, you know. And it's beautiful because God has blessed me.
When you work in prison ministry, you really see God's love and mercy in action.
Seeing the face of Christ in the disadvantaged, the forgotten, and people in poverty is the very essence of Vincentian spirituality. For Our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul, I'm Trace Trolka.
We end with this quote by St. Vincent de Paul: "We should assist the poor in every way and do it both by ourselves and by enlisting the help of others." Indeed, no act of charity is foreign to the Society and the work carried out by thousands of Vincentian volunteers in all 50 states. For Our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul, I'm Lisa Holbrook.
Coming up next, the Daily Mass, here on EWTN.